on to the next question. So, now the next question is from Patricia Williams. Is Patricia here? Patricia, you're there? Great. Will you read out your question, or will I read it out for you?
I would like to ask the candidate, we understand that there is a crisis, but why do the government always pick on the low paid work?
Alright.
Cut our hours, our rates and our pay. I have given 25 years of my life, and so has a lot of my colleagues. We have spent 24 hours in the labour course fighting for our rights, and that is only one of the many things we have done to achieve what we were entitled to.
You think the employers were targeting, by targeting the minimum wage, was targeting the real issue that the employers are interested in, the registered agreements? The registered agreements cover far more workers than those on the minimum wage. If they were allowed, in fact they started with the electricians, you may remember, and the electricians fought them all the way and won their case. Registered agreements are a vital defence of the rights of workers and their income streams. And we would, under no circumstances, just as I've told you earlier, having signed the pledge that if elected to Dáil Éireann, I will work to have the minimum wage restored, I will also commit myself, as does the party, that no way will we allow for an interference in the registered agreements for workers.
Just on that point.
I think, Tricia, the point you made is bang on. The cleaners and low-paid workers have to be protected with the retro-employment agreements. Already, the minimum wage law was changed there recently to reduce by an hour, and Brian Lennon made a commitment to say that there'd be they couldn't break anybody in a minimum wage contract and wouldn't be broken. And now you have 5 women down the Davenport Hotel who were called in by Noel O'Callaghan, the owner of the hotel, and told they had to sign a new contract and reduce their minimum wage down to €7.65. Those workers refused to sign it because they said it was illegal what he was doing, and they were taken off their rosters, and they're outside the Davenport Hotel now trying to get their jobs back. And it's outrageous what's going on here, that the Minister even attempted to go near that minimum wage.
Neville, a quick comment.
Pulling the strings of the last outgoing government. As an example, my own daughter has a contract to work 2 days, 2 shifts a week, but she's only given 2 hours in a pizza company each day. There's 4 hours she's entitled, and she has to be available for work for the week, and she's only given 4 hours of work. How is she supposed to survive on that? That's systematic of the whole country, where people on the minimum wage are being victimised. And what's really worrying about Fine Gael's 5-point plan, under the heading budget, it has Fine Gael will take on the vested interest of the unions, the banks, the bondholders, and the developers. What in God's name did the 650,000 Irish workers, that's the unionised workers, do to be taken on and associated with the criminals that destroy this country?
Ruairi.
Firstly, Fine Gael are committed to reversing the reduction in the minimum wage, in other words, bring it back by €1. But in terms of registered agreements, the subject is more complex than presented. Some of the electrician pay rates, as for instance, are out of kilter. They might have been affordable in 2007, they're certainly not affordable in 2010, and they need to be reduced for the competitiveness of Ireland. There are other restrictive practices within there. The reason the unions are mentioned in the same breath as other people, that we had a group of insiders running this country. But be under no illusion that the unions were part of that, the permanent government were part of that, the Fianna Fáil government were part of that. There's been a very cosy relationship, and that is part of the reason that Ireland is where it is. Be under no illusion. The unions were happy to go along with it in good days, and now they're upset in good days.
Aengus Ó Snodaigh.
I'll be quite brief. There is a race to the bottom, and it's directed at those who are in low-paid jobs. And I'd endorse what Joan said about the workers in Davenport, and I'd encourage anybody here to join in solidarity with the women on the picket line, as I have done. And because of the election, I haven't been able to spend as much time there, but I'd encourage everybody here and every union to support them, but also to go beyond that is to boycott the Noel O'Callaghan hotels until such time as he puts the women back on the rosters and ends the practice that he started.
Gerry Kelly.
He has the backing of the Business Association, and that is the move. They are trying to force down pay conditions at a very time when they should be protected. So I'd encourage people to be unionised as well and to seek the support of the union.
Thanks, Aengus. Gerry Kelly.
Again, this issue goes very much to the core of our failed political system. the louder you are, the more powerful you are, the more you lobby. I cannot meet a single person who can explain why it benefits the government to take €1 an hour off the minimum wage. All that does is take 30, 40, 50 quid a week spending money that someone on that wage has straight out of the economy. So it's absolutely crazy. I think in any club or any organisation, the example comes from the top. And if we're going to talk about reducing rates, we're still paying our hospital consultants more than twice what they get paid in England for doing the same work. We're still paying our university professors and our senior civil servants over twice what they get paid in Germany. When was this country ever twice as rich as Germany or Britain? So if we're going to have cuts, let's have a level playing field and let's have them across the board. But always it's the people at the bottom who suffer and the people at the top who pay themselves ridiculous.
Thanks, Gerry. Oisín Ó,
Patricia, you asked, in the middle there, you asked, why do governments always pick on the low paid? And I'm going to actually answer that directly. Basically, a lot of big political parties in this country have gotten their money from big business down through the years. The Green Party tried to have a ban on corporate donations, which would mean that big business wouldn't be allowed to give money to the parties. You might see that most of my posters are falling down, and I don't have many of the rest of it. That's because all of those posters were paid for by friends of mine going on sponsored walks and pub quizzes, and people giving me 10 or 20 euros, stuff like that. So all of my election has been paid for by me, my friends, my family, and the other members. Some of the other people on this table got money from a big fund. And I'm not saying it was big business, but big business in the past has paid, and that means they have the ear of the politicians, and you don't.
That it's nearly 100 years since the Great Dublin Lockout, and I think the plight of the workers hasn't really improved. We're on a downward spiral and it's heading back to where it was. Again, it's another attack on the most vulnerable. And just very quickly, without going off the point too much, I would like later to talk to the Green candidate about these big donations, because I know John appeared in a DVD I was sent by a developer to a big development in my community, and the developer asked me more or less to withdraw the planning application if I watched this DVD, and John Gormley appeared in it. So I think there's a lot there. I don't use posters myself in the campaign, as I think there's enough councillors and TDs with their heads in the air already. And I think if you're really green about the environment, you don't use posters. But I think there's a lot of people not removed from big corporate donations.
All right, Peter, thank you very much.
Well, when it comes to the candidate, if elected to the post of, would it reverse the cuts in the minimum wage?
Yes. I know I've signed the pledge already.
Yeah,
so
well, the rest signed the pledge, and that within 6 months of getting into the law, you reverse the cuts.
Patricia, thank you very much for your question, and I know that you were passionate about it. My only problem was, if everyone makes big speeches, we'll never go through all the questions, but thank you very much.